Alrighty guys, so today we are going to be running through a full PPR mock draft from the 9th overall pick in a 12 team league. I'm going to walk you through every single pick, explain my thought process, and show you exactly how to build the team that can win you your fantasy league this year. If you're drafting late in the first round and or are looking to trade in the back end of the draft, this is the video that you are looking for. And you better pray that your league mates are not watching this video, because if they do, they might have our secrets. So if you have any other fantasy questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead, leave them down below and I'll be free to answer. Let's get right into it. So the reason why I love the 9th spot is how much potential you can get in your first and second round pick, rather than the back end of the second round where there tends to be a drop off in players. So drafting around this position is amazing. With that being said, with the current selection of the board, you can't really go wrong in this selection. For example, if Puka goes or Neighbors goes, sometimes St. Brown will fall. Obviously, like these top three guys will already be gone. CD Gibbs and JJ will most likely be gone. So if you have the option between St. Brown, Derrick Henry, or Puka Nacua, you got some great choices. With that being said, since this is a full PPR mock draft, I do have Puka ranked higher than those guys anyway to begin with. So to get him at the 109 right here feels like a steal. So now we kind of have to read the board. Team 11 went with 2 wide receivers. Team 12 went RB. A-Chain usually sometimes falls to the 204, which would have been perfect. Unfortunately, he goes right before us. He's going to be a great player this year. This Nico A-Chain stack is amazing, but I'm honestly happy where we are at. I would love to get a running back here. However, I just can't see myself picking one of these running backs this early. If I had a CMC, a Genti, or an A-Chan fall right here, I think that would be an easy selection. However, the drop off with like a Josh Jacobs, Bucky, and Jonathan Taylor, I think is a little bit of a reach. And again, since this is PPR, Brock Bowers would be a great pick here at the tight end position. However, since tight ends dramatically produce a lot less points than the other overall positions, and I think starting off with 2 wide receiver ones is something I cannot complain about. With that being said, the 2 options I am personally going to be choosing between is going to be AJ Brown and Drake London. Drake London with Michael Penix last year looked to be very, very efficient, and we all know how AJ Brown is and that Philadelphia Eagles offense will be. 2 really safe picks here. I know AJ Brown is dealing with the hamstring injury right now, and I have Drake London ranked 1 spot above him just due to the potential that I think he has over AJ Brown. So I'm gonna go ahead, take Drake London here, pretty confident, and see where the 3rd round takes us. Coming up on the 309, the top 4 quarterbacks have already gone really early in this draft, so I'm not even gonna reach or look at that quarterback position until later on in the draft. It would be really nice to get some of that running back depth right here in my 3rd and 4th round pick, picking up a guy like James Cook, Kamara, and a David Montgomery, really any of these guys. But I think there's a great selection, and there's not really a difference between these top 6 guys that's going to differentiate them from me getting them at the 404. Obviously, yes, I would love to have that running back position filled out earlier rather than later, but getting Trey McBride at the 309, giving his ADP being at 26 is definitely a steal. And again, full PPR, I mean, this dude is a monster. He's getting what, 8-9 targets a game. Not many new faces in that Arizona Cardinals offense, so what's stopping Trey McBride from being the tight end 1 this year? I'm going to take my chances and get my tight end position locked up. I do see Kittle fall here late in the 4th, which was really good value right now. Obviously don't need him because we do have our tight end 1 in McBride. Receiver isn't really a position I'm looking for right now because a lot of these guys might fall to me at the 5th round pick. We need to lock up our running back 1 for the year. Kamara went with the pick right before, would have been a great steal here. Unfortunately, we did have Amarian Hampton, James Cook, and Kamara go right here, but I'm not too worried about the drop off. I'm going to take my guy Kenneth Walker in hopes I can pick up his handcuff Zach Charbonnet in the later rounds. If he stays healthy, and this is a big if, he's a very consistent running back. Obviously, his first 2 years pretty much rushing for 1,000 yards each seasons. Last year dealt with a lot of injuries, which set him back. But the Seahawks do have the 5th easiest strength of schedule for running backs this year, and I'm going to take my chances on that. So Kenneth Walker, welcome to the team. So getting into the later rounds of the draft, a lot of the value does start to fall in the back end of these rounds. So that run of wide receivers, hopefully there might have been some running back value that did drop to us. James Conner somehow fell. That would be an easy steal right here. Don't think he really will in regular drafts. For my RB2, a lot of guys I'm really interested in is Isaiah Pacheco, Travion Henderson, and RJ Harvey are really intriguing for me. DeAndre Swift is also very slept on. Obviously, with that Chicago offense should be getting a lot better this year. And the little competition that DeAndre Swift has could be a great pickup. Again, the value is here in Devontae Smith. Running him in my flex as a guy who's going to get around 6-7 targets per game is something that I'm really happy with. And of course, yes, I would love to have my running back 2 filled out, but I just can't pass up the better player in Devontae Smith rather than drafting him and reaching for a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, or like an Aaron Jones or RJ Harvey. I know what I'm getting with Devontae Smith, and that is perfectly fine. It is how the board is playing out, so you have to read the current draft that you are in and kind of see where it's going to go. He wasn't here, and I was kind of stuck in this predicament. A guy I really like this year is going to be Tedero McMillan. This dude's a stud. Go watch this tape. I'm going to take the safe guy, Devontae Smith. Welcome to the team. So now we really have to look at filling out our RB2, right? So Pacheco went, RJ Harvey went, Joe Mixon went. That leaves us with DeAndre Swift and Travion Henderson is the 2 guys I like the most. Travion Henderson is getting so much buzz right now as being the RB1 of that team right now. Played great in the preseason, but I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm going to pick up DeAndre Swift. All jokes aside, I do prefer DeAndre Swift overall. DeAndre Swift has been a top 20 PPR fantasy back in his whole career, so drafting him in the 6th round as my RB2, I'm going to take that upside. As we come up on the 709, the only position we need to fill out our quote-unquote starting roster would be quarterback. Picking up Kyler Murray to stack him with Trey McBride would be sweet, and the rushing upside of Kyler Murray is something that I love. We already have our 2 running backs locked in. We have 2 wide receiver 1s and probably a top 15 receiver right here in Devontae Smith. So a lot of these guys are kind of just joint together in one big puddle for me. I love Jacoby Myers actually if you needed him as like a flex option. Stephon Diggs is someone I'm really interested in as well. I might be able to pick up in the 8th round. And we already have our tight end and Trey McBride, so we don't need to look at that position. I'm going to end up taking Kyler Murray here. A lot of the times I will wait till like the 9th, 10th round to pick up a guy like Brock Purdy, or even like a Caleb Williams if I don't have a quarterback in that first 4 to 5 rounds. But that stack with Trey McBride is something that I need, so I'm going to take him. Seeing that team 10, 11, and 12 all need a quarterback that might go within these 6 picks before me. So I'm going to take my guy in Kyler Murray, and let's see where round 8 takes us. So as we predicted, 2 quarterbacks went off the draft, so happy we took Kyler Murray there. These later rounds are kind of fun because there's no really right answers. Guys you're just banking on upside with. The guy who has really no competition in that receiver room is Stephon Diggs. He's looking really healthy coming off his ACL tear. Drake May coming in year 2. I think he has really high potential to feed him targets all year. He's looking like the pick for me in the 8th round. Am hoping for Zach Charbonnet to fall back to me in the 9th round. Not sure how that will end up, but I guess we will find out. His ADP is 111, so I could get the handcuff now, but I just feel like it's a reach, and he's someone who would just sit on my bench if Kenneth Walker is healthy. Lucky for us, we did our guy Zach Charbonnet to fall just to handcuff him with Kenneth Walker. I would love to pick up Matthew Golden or Josh Downs here, but considering the fact that I already have 4 receivers, I'm going to take my handcuff. Unfortunately, neither of those 2 guys did fall to me. The guy who's going to consistently see about 7-8 targets a game is going to be Michael Pittman. Again, last year, he was averaging about 8 targets a game. He wasn't even healthy at all last year. He was dealing with back problems all year. There's a 6'4" target to Anthony Richardson in the 10th round. I'm going to bank on that upside. Brandon Ayuk might be back in week 6. We don't know how that injury is looking like, so that's something I'm going to pass up on. I think Jaden Higgins has the most potential to be that wide receiver 2 in this Houston offense. Considering the fact Houston's going to have the worst offensive line in the league, and with them bringing in Christian Kirk, they already have some guys like John Mechie, Tank Dell if he comes back this year. I'm not going to bank on that upside. I'm going to take Michael Pittman. The last pick coming up, I'm going to go with another running back just for potential. Guy I'm really high on is going to be Jaden Blue. Super fast, and we're hoping he can take over that RB1 role over Javonte Williams. Showed some life in the preseason, and as a young rookie, hopefully he plays out really well. Tank Bisbee is someone interesting, but in full PPR, this dude got 8 catches in the 2 years he's played. He's going to be super limited in this draft. So with that being said, our roster is going to be Kyler Murray as QB1, Kenneth Walker as our RB1, DeAndre Swift as our RB2. In full PPR, we have our studs in Puka Nacua and Drake London, 2 top 12 wide receivers. Our potential tight end 1 in Trey McBride, who is a PPR monster. And in our flex, I'm plugging in Devontae Smith, who I'm really excited about. Bench, we got Stephon Diggs, hopefully for that upside in the Patriots offense. Zach Charbonnet as our handcuff to Kenneth Walker in case he does get injured. Pittman, who could see 7 to 8 targets a game. And in our 11th round pick, Jaden Blue as our last final. final running back. Hopefully he can take over that running back one role over Devontae Williams. Let me know what you guys liked about this draft. Feel really good about how this turned out. Super balanced, and we do have a QB tight end stack. If you had any changes to make in this roster, let me know what it would be down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I got more mock drafts and strategies coming along all season. Don't forget to subscribe. I got more mock drafts and draft strategies coming along all season, and I'm out. Peace.